you figure out how to leverage LinkedIn at the higher level, there's a lot of ways to use it to your advantage. There's a lot of benefit to it, but if you don't know how to do it, ask away. I can kind of give you some suggestions, but yeah, any particular questions? Okay, looks like Carlos has a question.
What's going on, Casey? Thanks again for having this, man. This is great. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Yep.
All right. Now, I clicked on the first link on there where it says click here to join if you have a Mac, and it doesn't give me the option to have a camera on. So
I don't have that option either. There's no option for a camera, and I'm not on a Mac.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to promote you guys to panelists or something. So yeah, if you have something to say you want to be on, let me bring you to promote to panelist. You probably do it now if you wanted to. Cool. Well,
I don't care really. Yeah, I'm cool without it.
The camera's on you.
You don't need to have it on if you don't want to, but that way I'm not just talking to myself. What up, man? Good to see you again. So what's going on? Are you how are things going along with LinkedIn? You guys still crushing it or what?
Yeah, no, things are still going well with LinkedIn, with Robert Slack. So I've recently created some templates because I guess from what we found, like a lot of our like the correspondents and the people that respond to a lot of Robert Slack's information, like they're not here in the United States. So I put together a lot of templates of like the most common questions that they're getting asked or the most common responses, and just kind of a blueprint of like what and how to respond and how to keep engagement with that. Because some of these we're using it from a recruiting standpoint, and it does a really good job with funneling people in. But a lot of our virtual assistants or whatever you want to call them, they haven't really been coached on how to kind of nurture that relationship. So I've been doing a lot with coming up with scripts just to keep them relevant with what's going on here in the States and how to respond to some of those answers. And then not only that, those people that are responding that are confused, like how to get them to re-engage, where it's like, I just said like sharing like very popular videos that are pretty, it's more of like informational kind of, like I'm on YouTube a lot. So like valuetainment, stuff with Gary Vee, stuff that everybody likes, you know what I mean? That sparks a lot of interest, a lot of conversation. And I feel like sharing those videos where it's like, hey, like, have you seen this video that's going on that's coming from Robert? And then it almost looks like, okay, we're sharing like very similar content, we're watching the same things. Stuff like that, where it kind of nurtures the relationship. So that's going back to these people that are responding and just trying to create value more than anything helps.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I mean, well, first of all, video is obviously has been king for a while. And the trick that I've learned about video is, I think I've mentioned this in a couple other sessions, but if you don't just, if it's you created the video, like you created the video, you should upload it as an MP4 and not just like link to YouTube. Because when you upload raw content and organic content from the actual user themselves, and that means that the prospects or like the views are going to be organic and native on LinkedIn. So it'll get a lot more engagement, and it'll help with the algorithm.
Gotcha.
But I mean, if you don't have any of that content, then yeah, posting popular videos via YouTube is good too. I mean, the trick is just to keep on doing it, is to keep on posting.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the template definitely helps. The nurturing template like gives them an understanding of how to softly like sell without selling. And it's more of like, like, I mean, like I said, I'm a huge fan of like all the big marketers out there. And old book that Gary Vee has, the jab, 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 right hook. And it's like a lot of times we're always asking, hey, do you want to join our team? Hey, do you want to buy this? You want to buy that? And I think like that works. Like that's a very, very old tactic that I've always implemented in sales. And it works. So it's like doing the exact same thing with all the messaging. Whereas, because a lot of them, they're not interested, they're not ready to make a move yet. And it's a long sales cycle, whether they're buying a home, selling a home, or trying to get someone to join your team. Like doesn't always happen
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah, and what's what's interesting about that is the reason why we usually go for like a stronger call to action on the first message is because if they reply to just like a value offering on the second message, then they won't get any additional messages automatically, right? Through our system. So we like to at least have some call to action that would provide value to our clients on message number 2. But after that, I usually recommend just providing value. That means if they want to get a hold of you or schedule a call, they'll have Victoria, I'm gonna put you on mute, and then if you have something that to mention, I can unmute you because I hear your cute little dog in the background.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, and so if you provide value, especially for recruiting, that's huge. I mean, so one of our best scripts for people who are trying to recruit people to their team is just offering free coaching, like this. Like what I'm doing here with LinkedIn coaching. You can do the same thing for real estate, discuss your business model, your strategy for next year, whatever you want to do, invite them to a mastermind, like a digital mastermind. And that would at least start the engagement, start the relationship. And then over time, if they want to move brokerages or move teams, they would be thinking of you. So that's what Tristan Ahumada does, and Jesse Zagorski. They're kind of big players in lab code agents, and a lot of people from Club Wealth do that too. So that's a good move. Anyone with questions? Andrea, put your camera on. I'm not sure if that means you have something to say or.
No, I don't know. It's always good practice to have your camera on, but I guess something I'm open to sharing that I've had success with is this program I use called Listings to Leads, if anybody's heard of it. And we use that for the value add piece, and there's lots of different things that I can create as far as like home value, automated tool, or buyers, just buyer information packets that when they click on it, it sends them to the document and they give me their information. So that's it's been a great way to lead. Other than that, I haven't thought about the video. That's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, Listings to Leads is a good one. So I know I've been pushing that one from your perspective for a while, Andrea, and I appreciate you bringing that up. We use that as well, and we have access to HomeBot too, which is another kind of home valuation, kind of market snapshot software, but it requires way too many steps in order to capture the person's information. Whereas Listings to Leads has a good user interface. You can kind of customize what you want them to enter, what you want them to require to enter before you provide them with the information. So my first step is just for like name and email. And that would be a lead from my perspective. I then ask other questions as well, but even if they don't get through all those questions, if they don't get their home valuation necessarily, then I'll still reach out to them and give them like a personalized home valuation via email. So yeah, like just like the lowest barrier to entry is a good idea. And in fact, we created a good funnel for listening to leads recently too, through our new system, SalesStream. Trying to see if I can show it to you. Listings. I'll have to find it later, but yeah, because the trick is not to just get that lead, send them one email or one phone call, and then forget about them, but it's to, bring them away from LinkedIn, so you capture their information, and then you put them into some sort of funnel that nurtures them until they do close. So I've been pushing this funnel a lot recently. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so this is the funnel that we're working on now. Obviously, you guys, or a lot of you, are either current clients or past clients. The MyLink solution component is the LinkedIn engagement, the LinkedIn lead generation, database building, etc. So we can engage with 300, 500 plus LinkedIn connections a month, and they could be specific to your target or your niche, right? So local business executives, university alumni, local heroes, veterans. If you're trying to do agent attraction, you can do that. If you want to get referrals, lots of things you can do here. We try to funnel them into conversations or appointments. And then what Andrea was saying is that during her initial engagement, or even second engagement, she'll include a link to get like a free home valuation. And that would then bring them into a potentially like a nurture campaign. So once they kind of opt in to receive information, then you have the ability and the legal right to then nurture them with additional information for sellers via email and or text. And then you nurture them that way up until they schedule an appointment, and then you get them to close. We're also building out a kind of an engagement funnel where even if they don't reply and they don't fill out a form via LinkedIn, we can bring all of those contacts that you made from LinkedIn into an email campaign or an email funnel, which we usually recommend just providing value without any real appointment call to action. But what we're doing here is similar to what Andrea is doing up here, where you include links for like home valuations, market snapshots, invites to local Facebook groups, local events, some sort of invitation. And then once they fill out the form there, that's when you have the ability and right to then nurture them via email and text. So one that we're working on via SalesStream is the Altos market snapshot funnel, where what we do is we zap every new connection that's made via LinkedIn automatically into SalesStream, but we segment out their location. And so if they're from Santa Barbara, Ventura, Oxnard, Thousand Oaks, they'll go through a different funnel based on where they live. And then in the email, it's a very generic sort of market snapshot email, but then we hyperlink this market snapshot photo to the dynamic URL for a generic branding, which we have called like the local housing network, which then gives you a market snapshot update of a particular area. And so what's nice about this is as many of you know, when you have your IDX and you're doing even HomeBot stuff, you don't always have access to the whole nation. But with Altos, because it's all hosted online and it's dynamic, you can search anywhere in the United States and get the information about that area, which would be valuable to residents in that area.
Casey, so are you doing this with Facebook ads? Is that where you're doing this at? Or are you doing this in LinkedIn?
So this is LinkedIn, but LinkedIn again is our top of funnel.
Right.
And then we send them emails via SalesStream.
Right.
So it's LinkedIn and email. So we don't do any paid ads.
So you're saying that once you connect with them on LinkedIn, even if they haven't engaged as far as like clicked on anything, or you basically take their email from their profile and email this information to them without them technically giving you permission?
Yeah, so yes, that is what we do. Email is an opt-out channel of communication, whereas text message is is an opt-in. So
Mhm.
long as you have an unsubscribe link below, you don't mislead them with the header, you have like a location, a physical location, then you're complying with canned spam. And from what we've gathered with the cold email that we do, is so long as you provide value and kind of
Mhm.
let them know why you're reaching out to them in the very beginning,
Mhm.
they're a lot more receptive than if you just spam them without much information, without a bridge. And so one of the easiest lines that we use is like, hey, Carlos, great to meet you. We're friends on LinkedIn. How's business over at XYZ Realty? Because you can merge all that information as well. Want to bring a relationship off of social media onto a more professional channel and provide you with more resources. And then I always go, first off, if you don't want to hear from me, feel free to unsubscribe below. But if you find this valuable, I wanted to send you a market snapshot for Austin, Texas, or for their area. And so when you kind of create that rapport over email, like initially, the chances of them unsubscribing and or replying negatively go down quite a bit.
So you have this set up automatic for your CRM to automatically do, I mean, how do, or do you do it individual email? Like, do you
So
have a
we
way to
do
make
it,
a template?
yeah, so we do it automatically using Zapier. So we just, so we'll retrieve the poll from Zapier. We'll then format the text, and then our initial email actually goes out through Instantly, which is a cold email platform. And then once they, or if they click on the link, then we'll also bring them into SailStream, which the app is called Lead Connector. And so we'll bring them into SailStream that way. And so this is all these kind of Zapier flows we would share with our clients. If you wanted to subscribe to our SailStream platform, and I wanted to maybe put out there before, but we're giving a 60-day free trial for anyone who's interested in giving that a shot. But it's basically a CRM. But it has a lot of like pre-built funnels that you can take advantage of. Put this in the chat.
I have a question when you finish.
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Thariah, how are you?
Okay, hey, hi. It's been a while, but I was thinking about coming back to the service. So I was thinking, because I was thinking of actually deleting LinkedIn before I got this email.
Oh no.
So I might put it back to use now. But what I was going to ask you is, so I have like, I think it's 10,000 connections, but I really don't talk to any of those people on it, right? Should I just clear it all out, like clear all those connections out since I'm not emailing them and start over and rebuild it with this system? That's what I was going to ask you. Like clear all those connections because I don't use them for anything.
Good question. And no, I would say no, don't delete them or don't clear them out, because A, it would take some time to actually do that. But B, when you do use our services, it's always the best search to do mutual connections. And so the more connections you have in your first degree network, the more mutual connections you'll have with people, and they'll be in your second degree network. So even if they're not in the same industry, you still want to keep them in your network, because heck, why not? I mean, they'll be potentially engaging with your content that you're posting. It'll be increasing the number of mutual connections. You could be asking for referrals from them. There's a lot of other reasons. I mean, and plus you can have up to 30,000 connections on LinkedIn without them capping you. So the more, the better.
Something I do if like you just want to start slowly connecting with them, since you already have the connections, is I have my VA, she goes through and every day checks for people that have birthdays or, you know, promotions, and literally you just go through and you congratulate them or wish them a happy birthday, and it'll start some engagement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works too. I mean, it can be time consuming if you're doing it by yourself, but if you have help, that's definitely the way to do it. I mean, the way that I like to kind of think about it is, I mean, you have to consider it like it's a real relationship. Our system can kind of knock on the door and open the door for you and start a conversation. But when that door closes, if you don't go back and re-engage with them and just kind of continue that relationship, it will be lost, which isn't a bad thing, but it's, I mean, you want to maximize the platform. You want to be engaging with as much people as possible. I mean, some of our clients said that they, like 80% of their business comes from LinkedIn, and they're on LinkedIn like 80% of the day, which is kind of a lot, but that's how he communicates. That's how he engages. That's where his clients are. So it makes sense. Any other thoughts or any other kind of things people are doing that's working well? Phillips. If not, I can go into some other kind of things that I've been working on that I really like, but not many people do. It's another funnel, but a lot of this is kind of geared towards kind of automating lead generation. But if you go to LinkedIn events, there's a really interesting way that you can generate leads from a LinkedIn event. If you create a LinkedIn event from a business page, so that's like one of the main things. You have to create an event from a business page. Then you can invite up to 1,000 people to that event every week, and you can require registration for them to attend that event. And then with Zapier, you can then zap that registration into your CRM, into like reminder emails, into Zoom, so that they can get, reminders about the event, links. You can put them into different funnels. But I mean, with only a week of promoting this event, we got 47 or 48 people attend it. And now they're in different follow-up systems. So we did one for real estate during COVID, where we did like a local market report. Ventura and Santa Barbara County real estate market update. And we had 104 attendees attend that market update. And we got a lot of engagement from it. So this is like a good thing to do, especially if you're used to doing webinars and things like that. This is a pretty powerful tool.
Do we have to create that, or is that included in the done for you plan?
So we have a lot of tutorials and videos on how to do it. And yeah, because we don't really know when you would want to have your event, etc. So we have like a step-by-step process guide that helps you learn how to create a LinkedIn event and engage. So we would send this to you as well. So standard operating procedures to create a LinkedIn event, make it a company page, make it catchy.
Have you done anything like a buyer or seller webinar?
So that's probably this one. This market update's probably the closest to it. You could just rename it your city or your county buyer seller webinar, or how to buy a home in a shifting market, or how to deal with high interest rates. Some piece of knowledge that you think the market would be interested in learning about. And then, yeah, then you just invite all your network. And that's one of the tricks too, by having a large network. So if you have 10,000 people, having a large network allows you to invite more people to that event.
So is it like a sub page under your main page, or it's like a brand new page?
The event itself?
Yeah.
Oh, so the event is, so this is my brother's account, and you just go to the home page, and you click on this little plus button to create an event. You then upload a cover photo. The organizer needs to be a company, so it can't be a personal page. So for you, you'd create your real estate company page.
Hmm.
Go online, and then that allows you to use a LinkedIn registration form. So you click on that. You add your privacy policy, put in a description, add any speakers, hit next.
So you were mentioning a business page. I didn't even know that we could create business pages on LinkedIn. I mean, I've done it on Facebook, but
Yeah, it's, they don't really, oh, are you there?
Yep.
you create a
Mhm.
business page. Do you retain all the contacts? Are they part of your business page as well?
So you can promote your business page. You can invite 100 people or 1,000 people to your page, I believe, a month. Let me see. So it's really easy. First of all, if you want to create a new business page,
Mm-hmm.
you go to this work icon, and down here it says create company page.
Okay.
And then it'll bring you through some steps. But that's if you have your own company. So if you work for Keller Williams and you're just, or some real estate brokerage, you can add that company's page here. But because you don't manage that page, you won't be able to use it to create an event. So even though we are technically realtors with Big Block Realty, we created another business page called the O'Toole Group Real Estate. And that's
Right.
the page that we use for all of our events.
Yeah, so that's how, like, I would do an Andrea Dodson Properties page, and then I just opened an insurance company. So that would, I'd have to create those pages. And they would be
Yep.
connected to me, my profile though, correct?
It would, yeah. So you can so you would create the company page, and then you would make yourself like the owner of that company or admin of that company.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can invite 250 people from your network to that business page a month, which is good and bad. I mean, I don't really love the engagement business pages get. I mostly just use them because it creates better branding for your company,
Mm-hmm.
and because it lets you use the LinkedIn event registration forms.
But
Especially
Casey,
if you have
question.
multiple businesses.
Yeah, you could have multiple businesses too.
Would you do a sub page associated with the existing page or just a company page?
A sub page, I'm sorry.
Sorry if I'm breaking up it. I went to create page and it's giving me a few options like company page or showcase page or sub pages associated with the existing page.
I would do a company page. Because when you do if you were to just kind of go through your profile and add to your work experience, if you don't have a company page created, you would put down, like, let's say, if I didn't have the O'Toole Realty, if I don't have a company page created, it'll still let you create the company name as the O'Toole Realty, but the icon will be this really generic favicon. It's just an avatar, which just shows people in LinkedIn that you're not as on top of it as you maybe should be. So that's why having company pages are good, because all those are the reasons, but plus you can then include an actual company page next to your company name. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Casey, quick question. If we have LinkedIn solutions through you, right, and that has to be from a personal account, not a business account, right?
Mhm.
So if we wanted to create an event, are you using your LinkedIn solutions list to send out invites to your business event? You see what I'm saying? How it's two different pages? Because we can't use LinkedIn solutions to do outreach. I mean, to do outreach with a business page, correct?
You can, but it wouldn't be the best. It wouldn't be maximizing it. I mean,
Do you see what, do you see where I'm getting at though?
I think so. So you're saying you create an event from a business page, right, that you own. You would
Right, because
then
we can't create it.
go ahead.
Like, I guess I'm asking specifically, like for Robert Slack, right? Can we create an event specifically under his personal page that's linked up to LinkedIn Solutions that we're doing a lot of outreach with?
I'll show you. So, so
'Cause
he does have a company page called this one here,
Right.
right?
Yep,
So what I would recommend is when you create the event, you would create the event from this page,
right.
and then you'd be able to invite 1,000 people a week from his followers to that event.
Oh, I got you. So you would create, we would change the outreach that goes out once that
No,
event's created. Is that what you're saying?
no, yeah. So this is separate. So we wouldn't be using MyLink solution for the invites. What's nice about it is you can when you create the event and let me just create a fictitious one. I'll show you guys. You can invite. You just like scroll down. You can filter for 1,000 people, and then you just invite them all to the event all at once.
Yeah, but I guess like Robert Slack has like, I don't know, 20,000 people, right? What if we want, to trickle those people in?
Yeah, so you can do that, but it would only be 1,000 at a time, 1,000 a week.
Right. That's okay.
So test event. Let me show
Are
you.
you saying too, maybe to like run a campaign to your existing, like through my LinkedIn solutions, running a retargeting campaign to invite them to the event kind of thing?
Yeah. So you can do that too. If you wanted to like send like a direct link via Messenger, you can do that. You just wouldn't get the same sort of results and it wouldn't be that the highest and best use. Because when you send the invite from the event page to 1,000 people, it shows up in that person's network of like, if someone wants to connect with you, it'll say Robert Slack invited you to an event, and people check that pretty often.
Right.
Usually they get an
just-
email notification too, I think.
I believe so. There's a new email thing that came out recently. Let me just do it real fast. Let me just show you what I mean.
I guess where I get confused is how are you using the O'Toole group to send to your friends list on your personal page? That's where I'm confused.
So you would be using your personal connections to
Right.
send the 1,000 invites to your company's event.
Right. That's not, but that's not through LinkedIn. This is not through LinkedIn Solutions.
No, so I can show you how to do it, but let's say I just created an event here.
Right.
When I go to share, invite people, these are all Sean's. So even though this is an event from the O'Toole Group Real Estate,
Uh-huh.
these are only Sean's connections. And so what you would do is if it's like a local event, you can
I got you.
go to Ventura. So you can still use certain filters.
I got you. Okay, so his list will come up then when you create
And
the
then,
event.
yeah, his list comes up when you want to invite, and then you can
Gotcha.
scroll through. And then add 1,000 people and then invite them all at once.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're doing.
You see what I mean?
That's where I was confused about. Okay, I see.
And then what's nice about this too is if you have access to other LinkedIn profiles, you could have them send out 1,000 people to the event as well.
Oh wow.
And so, but they'd be sending out the invite to people in their network.
Yep, I see.
So we manage, personally, like 3 or 4 different profiles for all of our employees, and my wife has one, and so I kind of created some profiles for this kind of purpose.
Yeah.
But so now we're inviting like 4,000 or 5,000 people a week to these events. About 15% of them register for the event, and about 10% of them show up. So
Right.
it's a pretty good conversion rate for how little effort it takes.
Yeah.
Did you say you recommend doing a community page or like real estate? It's asking like industry.
I would do company page. I'm having a hard time hearing you, Steve.
Sorry, my microphone's messed up.
No worries.
So are these events typically like a Zoom call that you're doing, or live?
I usually recommend Zoom, just because you can do live events. You can make the Zoom call live also, but I mean, that's up to you, but LinkedIn Live is a little bit funky. I'll be honest. It's not the easiest platform to know how to use. You have to download separate software, stream it. It's not my favorite, but so I usually just send them over to Zoom. But what's cool is like, you don't even need them to click on this link. When they register for the event, you can automatically zap them to the registration list via Zoom in Zoom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How many people here are familiar with Zapier? Has anybody done any good workflows with that regarding with LinkedIn contacts? Carlos, do you use anything like that for Robert?
Yeah. Well, I have Lead Connector as well. So I'm familiar with everything that you have there. But I mean, we've done a handful of things with Zapier, but nothing too out of the ordinary or nothing too creative that.
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. The LinkedIn events. You just make the trigger a LinkedIn event registration, and then you would create the webinar registrant in Zoom from the LinkedIn registration, and then you can add them to your own CRM. All right. Any other questions about LinkedIn, guys? I can unmute. Maybe raise your hand. I think I gave everyone the ability to talk if they wanted to. So if you want to raise your hand or unmute yourself, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we can call it a day.
Now these are great, Casey. I appreciate these for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I realized I hadn't done them really ever, and I apologize to all my current clients. I even wrote about that in our Facebook group, but it's super important to coach and to teach as much as you can about the platform that you're leveraging to create leads for your clients. And I just haven't really done it before. So we're doing these every week now, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'll be here to answer questions and help out however I can. And again, if anyone is interested in getting I'm offering 2 free months for the CRM. I posted the link in the chat, and I'll also send you an email afterwards with this recording, and I'll send you the link there as well.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And hope to see you next week.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.